Good morning, welcome to Optimal Frequency. I'm Grant. I talk to spirits here at my house using sources of white noise. I then filter out the sound of the actual white noise with an artificial intelligence called CRISP, and that leaves behind only the spirit voices. So today I have rolled up a random mystery that I want to go up to the sink and talk to the spirits about, and that is the Hindenburg Disaster. Now this was recommended to me by Eric Sackman on YouTube quite a while ago. He had suggested to me, well, maybe it wasn't an accident. I never gave it much thought, right? The dirigible from 1930s used to, they were going to make a whole fleet of these things, but filled with hydrogen gas. It ended up exploding, killed a lot of people, but maybe it was espionage. It's close to being wartime, so you never know. Let's see what the spirits have to say on this. Stay tuned. Good morning, day 2. I got my sheet here. I filled out yesterday 2 full sides of questions on the Hindenburg. I'm going to go up to the sink and do that right now. Just finishing a coffee. It's 6 a.m. Up and at her early. I was so busy last week that I just didn't have time to do a video. Still doing all kinds of work around the house here. I had the roof done last week, all new rugs put in, moving furniture left, right, and center, doing a bunch of yard work. House goes back on the market this week, so anyways, back to the session. Let's get this thing done. See if we get some good answers. The sugar bowl of destiny. Somebody's destiny. Don't know if it's mine. Chipmunks and birds are going out there. Alright, let's turn this on and get going. Good morning, spirits. Hope you're all doing well this morning. You know which topic we've chosen this morning? If you could come through and answer some questions on the Hindenburg Disaster, that would be fantastic. I'd really appreciate that. The Hindenburg Disaster was an airship accident that occurred on May 6, 1937 in Manchester Township, New Jersey, United States. The German passenger airship LZ-129 Hindenburg caught fire and was destroyed during its attempt to dock with its mooring mast at Naval Air Station Lakehurst. The accident caused 35 fatalities from the 97 people on board, and an additional fatality on the ground. The disaster was the subject of newsreel coverage, photographs, and Herbert Morrison's recorded radio eyewitness reports from the landing field, which were broadcast the next day. A variety of hypotheses have been put forward for both the cause of ignition and the initial fuel for the ensuing fire. The publicity shattered public confidence in the giant passenger-carrying, rigid airship and marked the abrupt end of the airship era. Was this an accident, or was it a planned attack that blew up the Hindenburg? I'm just going to say that I felt this ping of information like an accident. It was an accident. So we'll see if it said accident. That'll be interesting.
someone had shot the Zeppelin with a rifle, what would have happened to that Zeppelin? Would a bullet going through there be enough to cause it to explode?
Huh. It would have been, but it's not true. And that answer is so clear. And they already said it was an accident. Case closed.
Yeah. This is kind of a morbid question, and I'm not sure why I wrote it, but I'm going to ask you anyways. What does it feel like to burn to death? Can you explain that for us? I was really surprised to see those people run from the belly of that airship. Did angels protect those people that survived?
At 7:25 p.m. local time, the Hindenburg caught fire and quickly became engulfed in flames. Eyewitness statements disagree as to where the fire initially broke out. Several witnesses on the port side saw yellow-red flames first jump forward off the top fin near the ventilation shaft of cells 4 and 5. Other witnesses on the port side noted the fire actually began just ahead of the horizontal port fin, only then followed by flames in front of the upper fin. One with views of the starboard side saw flames beginning lower and farther aft, near cell 1, behind the rudders. Inside the airship, helmsman Helmut Lau, who was stationed in the lower fin, testified hearing a muffled detonation and looked up to see a bright reflection on the front bulkhead of gas cell 4, which suddenly disappeared by the heat. As other gas cells started to catch fire, the fire spread more to the starboard side and the ship dropped rapidly.
Where did the initial fire break out? What was the muffled detonation that helmsman Lau heard? Was it fate that Hindenburg blew up? Was it destined to happen no matter what? Did those people sign up for that and that was just like a little part of this play on Earth that we're doing? If you burn to death in this life and then you're reincarnated, are you afraid of fire in the next life? If the Hindenburg was sailing along, there was no leak, everything was perfect, and somehow it crash landed, would it have blown up from that? Those people that escaped, did any of them ever fly again, or were they too scared after that incident? What should our takeaway lesson be from that disaster? What do you think of the movie The Hindenburg starring George C. Scott? I found it on YouTube, full version, pretty good quality. I didn't watch it, but I was thinking of watching it. Do you think I would enjoy it?
At the time of the disaster, sabotage was commonly put forward as the cause of the fire, initially by Hugo Echner, former head of the Zeppelin company and the old man of German airships. In initial reports, before inspecting the accident, Echner mentioned the possibility of a shot as the cause of the disaster because of threatening letters that had been received, but he did not rule out other causes. Echner later publicly endorsed the static spark hypothesis, including after the war. The theory that hydrogen was ignited by a static spark is the most widely accepted theory as determined by the official crash investigations. Offering support for the hypothesis that there was some sort of hydrogen leak prior to the fire is that the airship remained stem-heavy before landing, despite efforts to put the airship back in trim. This could have been caused by a leak of the gas, which started mixing with air, potentially creating a form of oxyhydrogen and filling up the space between the skin and the cells. A ground crew member, R.H. Ward, reported seeing the fabric cover of the upper port side of the airship fluttering, as if gas was rising and escaping from the cell. He said that the fire began there, but that no other disturbance occurred at the time when the fabric fluttered. Another man on top of the mooring mast had also reported seeing a flutter in the fabric as well.
Was that indeed a leak that R.H. Ward saw on the port side of the ship? So back in the day, the Hindenburg disaster was huge news. Will we be facing any similar disasters in the near future? How do we avoid such disasters? All right, thank you, spirits, for answering my questions on the Hindenburg. Oh, I heard a bird first thing this morning. One sole bird. My window was open, 5 o'clock roughly, and I felt like it was a message. Was that a message? What's the name of that bird? And who was that message from? So just for the record, I heard, I guess it would be called a whippoorwill. I remember my grandpa going, whippoorwill, whippoorwill, when we were kids, telling us that was the song of the whippoorwill. And I heard that 3 lone calls this morning. And yeah, no other bird sounds out there, so I thought it was a message from him saying hello maybe, or good morning. All right, thank you, spirits. Love, peace, joy, and adventure. Sending out hugs of light. Take care, everyone. Catch you in the next episode.